Mark Gilman, along with Western Oregon head coach Arn Ferguson. And, Coach, before we get into this week's game against Central Washington, talk about last week's long road trip down to Dixie State. It certainly wasn't a game you wanted to write home to Mom about afterwards, but there were some good things despite the fact that you pick up that loss down there in the heat.
Well, first of all, we knew going down to Dixie early in the season is always tough. We've had difficulties down there before. Last year we played well down there and knew that they were really were focused to play that second game. And we knew that Adams State, they should have won that game. So it wasn't a surprise, that they played well. It was a surprise that we turned over the ball with our special teams and then offense with our receivers and quarterbacks out of sync. And then also giving it up on the ground. I mean, those things fundamentally you cannot do. To have 6 turnovers and even be in a football game on the road, especially after a long road trip. I mean, it's 20-something hours, but that's not the reason. Our players were focused. They're out of sync and whatever reason, and we got to recover it. And really that second half, we got to find ways to get things done and adjust, and our players didn't respond like we expect them to. And then defensively, we felt we had them in long situations, and whether it's quarterback scrambled or honestly bad tackling, I mean, those things also can happen where we can give our offense a chance or 2 or 3 more chances, and who knows. We definitely had some people open. We definitely had some plays there, but we didn't connect and we didn't execute. And on the road with turnovers, you're going to get your butt beat. It's that simple.
There were some guys who did do pretty well. Tuigamala tackled well, and Bentham and Pila, and but the defense was out there almost 40 minutes, and that's tough on any players, especially with the heat. Yeah,
I mean, it was no question. I mean, game time is 102 degrees on turf, which elevates that at 5 degrees or more. But it's a dry heat. Our players, been practicing in the morning. We didn't think that was really an issue. The issue was, honestly, yes, you're right. The defense did wore down, where the offense has to start running the football for us to be successful in the upcoming games. And there's no question with Dixie, we knew it would take some time to transition in Division II. It's not a surprise where their school is and the resources that they have, how much ground they're gaining in quickly also.
And one last note from that game, Alex Brott, the freshman out of West Salem, he had his first punt, almost got it blocked. Brother, did he make up for that as the GNAC Special Teams Player of the Week? And a 73-yard punt, turf roll counting, of course.
Well, and, first of all, he's an inch away from the back of the end zone when he kicked a 73-yarder. So that quick urgency of having a quick punt and getting it off. Alex does have a very strong leg. He's getting better day by day and becoming more confident. Also is a very good backer for us also. He's just young in the rotation. So we expect great things to him. And really, Devin Wells, our snapper, has been very consistent. Early he was off for whatever reason, and that caused some things to be delayed, and really got a piece of one a little bit. But for Alex to come back and really have a consistent yardage shows a lot for his talent to be, and we're glad he's a redshirt freshman.
Oh, yeah. Now, looking forward now to Central Washington for this week. This is a team you guys got them here in Monmouth last year, and that's a big monkey off of everybody's back. But this is a good Central Washington team. They're considered one of the contenders along with you and Humboldt State. Your concerns, first of all, as a defense, as you face this team that likes to throw it early and often.
Well, first of all, they have 2 Division I transfer running backs that are big, they're physical, they're 220, 225. They hit things vertical, and they're very athletic. Did a nice job against Simon Fraser and also against Kingsville late in the game once their offensive line got going. Their quarterback will be a 4-year starter. Even though his first year he split a little bit. We've seen him. He's very productive. He's smart. He makes things happen. And his arm's getting stronger. So to have an experienced quarterback that has played so many downs is always an advantage. And then with the O-line, that pretty much their whole group and backups they were back the last 2 or 3 years. So the consistency of that program with their offense is number one. And defensively, when they know we know they get a lot of transfers. They're very aggressive, very talented, and we expect them to be as good as they have been in the past, which they've been extremely good in the past. So we definitely have our hands full at our place, and then we know that the team that wins the battle, just like last year up front, we won it here up front. We felt, and last year also at their place, they won it late. So those two things dictate the game. But their experienced quarterback, we don't expect them to make many mistakes, and our quarterback position has to start playing better.
But the learning experiences you talked about here in Central, good place. At least you start with them here, and that's a good thing for you guys, and a good way to look to bounce back after a tough loss.
Yeah, no question. I think Central Washington is, we haven't seen them in person yet, but on paper, probably the most talented group. Even though last year they weren't as successful as they normally are. But if you look at their history of the last 5 or 6 years, they've been extremely dominant in our league with the amount of players that they get that play at an extremely high level. So we're expecting the same. And then we definitely have our hands full. And then also to get back into the very basics that it takes to win football games, and which is you got to take care of the football, you got to win on third down on defense, and you got to make big plays. And we haven't done that on offensive defense to this point, and we need to start doing that against an extremely good Central Washington team.
All right. On that note, Coach Arn Ferguson, as always, thanks for your time, sir.
You bet. Thanks, Mark.